Thursday, August 20th, 2026. 3 Asia-Pacific AI stories before your first coffee. Nvidia is guaranteeing up to $105 billion of lease and power obligations at SoftBank Energy's Ports-to-Pike campus in Ohio, a facility sized at 4.25 IT gigawatts with an option on 3.75 more, and first capacity due in 2028. OpenAI holds a 20-year lease, and Nvidia retains exclusivity on AI compute at the site, while Nvidia is also investing $1.5 billion to become a shareholder in SB Energy alongside SoftBank Group and OpenAI. The Asian supply chain underpinning the commitment is already visible. SK hynix booked 17.61 trillion won from Nvidia in the first half of 2026 alone, with a second customer close behind at 17.19 trillion won. Why it matters? The guarantee structure means Nvidia is converting balance sheet strength into physical infrastructure lock-in, and the components filling those racks, high bandwidth memory, advanced packaging, power semiconductors, flow overwhelmingly through Asian fabs and assembly lines. SK hynix, Samsung, and TSMC are the immediate beneficiaries, as committed capacity of this scale pulls forward procurement timelines and tightens allocation for every other buyer in the region. Capital allocators tracking Asia's semiconductor complex should watch whether SK hynix's Nvidia concentration, already north of 17 trillion won in a single half, triggers margin pressure or pricing power as second-tier customers compete for remaining supply. The second-order effect worth tracking is whether SoftBank's energy subsidiary becomes a template for sovereign-backed data center plays across Southeast Asia, where power guarantees remain the binding constraint on hyperscale build-out. So, Bangkok's 5-ministry human capital strategy, launched in July, is scaling AI reskilling across universities and a labor ministry certification program targeting 150,000 workers. But Thailand's own labor data exposes a structural absorption problem the training pipeline cannot fix. 34% of highly educated Thai workers already sit in low or medium-skilled jobs, more than double the OECD average of 16.5%. And 55.8% hold roles unrelated to what they studied. Generative AI exposure covers roughly 8.7 million workers, about 21.8% of the 40.1 million labor force. Yet Thailand has the thinnest AI-exposed job base of the major ASEAN economies, at 20.6% of employment. Why it matters? Thailand is building supply-side training infrastructure for a demand-side problem it has not addressed. Capital allocators backing edtech or workforce platforms in the Thai market should note that 27.6% of workers are already formally overqualified for their current roles. So adding AI credentials without matching employer demand risks inflating the mismatch further. The regional hiring outlook for Asia-Pacific fell 10 points quarter-on-quarter in Q3 2026, even as 69% of employers say they will pay a premium for AI literacy, which means the wage signal is real but the job volume is not keeping pace. Builders and recruiters feel this first. The practical question for Thai graduates is whether their new AI skills attach to domestic employers who are actually hiring, or whether the payoff only arrives through cross-border remote work. Singapore's AI-exposed job share sits at 42.2%, roughly double Thailand's, making it the more natural talent magnet in ASEAN. Now, 2 Chinese AI labs shipped music generation models within the same week, giving Asian studios both closed and open options for the first time. Alibaba's Happy Tunes 1.0 entered beta on 17 August, with end-to-end generation of melody, arrangement, lyrics, and vocals from a single prompt, backed by a co-creation deal with Taiheng Music Group, one of China's major label players. MiMax released Music 3 as open weights the same day, producing up to 5 minutes of 32 kHz stereo audio in a single pass, under a license that permits commercial use with attribution for any company owning below $20 million a year. Why it matters? Asian music producers, game studios, and short video platforms now have a real choice between a managed API with label partnerships and a self-hosted open model they can fine-tune without a vendor lock. Indie developers and smaller studios across Southeast Asia and Japan are the first to benefit from the MiMax license threshold, which effectively makes commercial music generation free for more startups. The second order effect to watch is how Taihei's involvement shapes rights clearance norms in China. If a major label is co-signing AI-generated output, expect other rights holders to accelerate their own licensing frameworks rather than litigate. Meanwhile, ByteDance's separate MOU with the Motion Picture Association on content safeguards signals that Beijing's Big Three are now competing on trust infrastructure, not just model quality. That is your AI in Asia briefing for today.
Stay short, build well, see you tomorrow.